We know abortions continue to be on the rise in our state. In 2021, 25% of reported pregnancies ended in abortion, resulting in nearly 80,000 abortions in just 1 year. In reality, this number is actually higher, as many of the chemical abortions are not included in the reporting. At ThriVe Orlando, it is our goal to meet women before they make that choice. Each woman has a story. I invite you to hear from 3 of these women.
We are the women facing unplanned pregnancies.
We are your daughters, your sisters.
Your friends, your mothers. These are our stories.
When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. My parents, it would let them down. I knew I had to have an abortion.
I had a plan, but I found out I was pregnant right after we got engaged. I was not ready to be a mom yet.
I'm a single mom. I brought my son to ThriVe with me because I had no one to watch him.
ThriVe uses the Socratic method, so our advocates are trained to ask questions designed to help each woman reflect on her situation, empowering her to thoughtfully respond instead of simply reacting.
I was so nervous when they called me back, but they asked me questions. It helped me to slow down and think about my situation and made me feel safe.
When the woman at ThriVe asked who would support me if I continued the pregnancy, I realized my fiancé and my mom would help me.
When the advocate asked me how I felt about being pregnant, I told her I was in poor health and wasn't sure I would survive a pregnancy. I was worried about who would take care of my son if something happened to me.
ThriVe communicates to each patient that we do not profit from her decision. We are here as a resource of information so that she can make an informed decision for her situation.
They offered me information on all my options for this pregnancy, and I only wanted to hear about parenting and abortion, definitely not adoption.
They shared so much information with me, it helped me realize that I had options to consider. And I liked that my fiancé was able to hear it all too.
I like that ThriVe offered me so much and it was all free. I was so confused, but it seemed like they really wanted to help me.
Every morning at ThriVe begins in prayer, and throughout the day, every patient is offered the gospel. We know that only the Lord can change lives and save lives.
They asked me if I had ever heard of the gospel. I knew about Jesus, but I had never heard of anything like what she told me. It made me want to follow Christ.
The woman asked if she could pray for me, for us, and she wanted to know what I would like to ask God to do in my life.
I wasn't interested in hearing about the gospel. I'd heard that before. I did let her pray for me, though, and that was nice.
Our nurses have the privilege to show a woman the reality of the life she is carrying. A clear explanation of the ultrasound, including gestational age, development, and the fetal heartbeat, can be a powerful piece in her decision-making.
When the nurse told me I was only 5 weeks pregnant, I knew I would have an abortion. But when she told me I could come back next week for an ultrasound, it caused me to rethink everything.
When we saw the heartbeat on the ultrasound, it hit me. That was our baby growing inside. I started to think that maybe we could do this. Maybe I wouldn't have an abortion.
I had mixed feelings about the ultrasound. Now, I knew there was a life inside of me, but I was so scared for my son and for myself.
Every week, we see women making life-altering choices, and we offer support to them. Parenting support for those who choose life, and post-abortion counseling for those who do not.
Because they invited me back, I had time to think about this pregnancy before I came in for the ultrasound. After the ultrasound, my decision was made. I let everyone know that I would keep my baby. 8 months later, Christina was born. She is my pride and joy.
My fiance and I decided to continue with the pregnancy. We do not regret our decision to parent young. Having our little girl turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to us.
I left ThriVe well informed. I knew I had an important decision to make, but I still wasn't sure what I would do.
We consistently see women at risk for abortion choose life for their babies. We consistently hear from women that they appreciate our services. As they leave, we trust God knowing that they have heard their options and heard the gospel. We trust Him with the outcome. We are grateful to the Lord for those who give of their time, talents, and treasures, so that the ministry of ThriVe Orlando can continue to defend life in our community. Thank you to all who are a part of our team.